Oh, hey there. Didn't see you come in. Welcome to Studio NPL. I'm Chris, and this is Will.
Hey guys, today we're going to show you how to use an Xbox Connect to 3D scan and print your friends, make little models like this.
So we're going to be using printers like this and a scanner like that, and in the end we're going to have results like this. So if you guys are ready, why don't you come join us over here and we'll go ahead and get started.
You ready?
I'm ready. Let's go, Will.
Let's go.
Hey, thanks for joining us over here at the scanning station. So something important before we get started. Powering the Connect and hooking up to the laptop is important before opening up Connect. If you don't do that first, this Connect program, it won't recognize your actual Connect. So go ahead and do so.
So once you've opened up Connect and you notice that the sensor is detected, you want to press New, start a new scan. You click Start, and here's where you're going to ensure that the subject you're scanning is appearing green. You can see what you're scanning in the box in the middle of the screen in full color, and then on the right what looks like a heat map. You want that to be green. Once you click the record button in the top left, it counts down and the scanning has begun. You want to make sure the whole time you're doing it that what you're scanning appears green. Chris is keeping the scanner pretty much perpendicular to who he's scanning or what he's scanning, not tilting the scanner but keeping it straight on. You notice that I'm holding the Chords and laptop out of the scan. Here's our last area from the direct front. Click Stop when we're finished, and then the file processes. You can see the grayish or light gray model in the center there. And there's even a set of lines or dots that trace the movements made with the scanner. And then click Process, click Watertight under Mesh, and it will further process the model. Make sure that it's 3D printable and fill in any tiny gaps that it may have missed during the scanning process. We can't print our model in full color on the printers we have. Save the file, export as an STL. You choose the units you'd like it to be exported as. Then you can either modify the file in some software like Tinkercad, or simply bring it in to your 3D printing software and have a little statue of your friend.
Setting up your file to print in the MakerBot software. First, locate your file and add it to the MakerBot software. Go ahead and scale it to fit if it's too large for the actual platform. You can further adjust the scale to be the size that you actually need. Once you have the right size, go ahead and preview your print. The preview will show you the resolution, if you have your RAFs on, and if you have your supports on. It'll also give you an estimated print time.
You'll be able to see in this time lapse that the print is pretty accurate to what we scanned. Okay guys, thanks for joining us on our first episode here at Studio NPL. Chris, did you learn anything?
I learned a lot about filming, how to scan and how to print everything. Hope you guys learned something as well, and hope you guys come to join us at our next episode.
Bye.
Until next time, bye.
Hi, Hi, I'm Rebecca Stone. I'm your video and film production mentor, and today we're going to talk about shots. A variety of shots for you to make sure you include in your next movie that you're going to make. So the reason why you need to think about different shots is because you want to make sure that your video is as interesting as your script. So if you wrote this great script, you're going to make this little mini movie, but your shot is all one shot for the whole movie, you've just lost your audience's attention. We want to make sure that your movie is just as interesting in the plot as well as the visuals. And to do that is to add a variety of shots. So let's talk about some shots today. We have the extreme long shot. You want to make sure your audience knows where your scene is, and you use an ELS, an extreme long shot, for that. And what that is doing is placing the scene. So if you're shooting at a school, maybe your ELS is the whole school, and then your next shot narrows it down to the classroom. So you want to have an extreme long shot. Another example would be a long shot. You want to make sure you have a long shot. That's basically from head to toe of your characters. You'd include that, go from an ELS to an LS. Then we have an MS, a medium shot. A medium shot is basically from your waist up for your characters. So you want to think about including a medium shot too. Remember, the closer you're getting in, the more emotions, the more details, those types of feelings you're getting across to your audience. So another shot that would be important to include is the close-up shot. Your close-up is usually around shoulders up, and you're getting more emotions now from your character. You're getting more personal, more up and close with them. Another shot is going to be the extreme close-up. That is usually when you want to show a little bit more detail. You want to get in there. You want to show whatever they're specifically doing. Maybe their hands are on the keyboard for a piano. Or if it's a hot day outside, you have them drinking a glass of water, you might get up close to the water. And then the next shot would be like a macro shot where you get really close and we could show the ice in the water. You could show the droplet going down the glass to show how hot it is. These are different ways of kind of relaying to your audience what's going on and getting them more up close and personal to your scene. So there's some other shots too you want to think about including. We have a two shot. A two shot is usually two people in a scene. It kind of describes it in the title, two shot. We also have a high angle and a low angle. Those shots are pretty cool to use. A high angle is when your camera is up high and you're looking down at your subject. This is a neat way to show a vulnerability of your characters. They could be getting bullied on, they could be picked on, they could be real vulnerable, they could be scared. It's basically the camera is up top looking down and they're looking up at the camera, and it just makes them appear kind of weak. I think a good example for that I always think about is the Shrek movie, where the Puss in Boots character is all like, I'm just down here a little, you know, and it's just this high angle and you can kind of see this vulnerability in them. So that's a great way to show that. Another shot you might want to include, I mentioned, is the low angle. So what that does is your camera is down low and you're shooting up high, and that makes your character look more powerful. It's used a lot with presidents. High influential characters, strong characters, or maybe the bully of the scene. You're shooting down, looking up, they look real powerful and strong in their scenes. So that's a cool angle to use. So these shots are just a variety of shots. You want to think about including them in your film. So you're not shooting a little movie that's all one long shot. Your audience will visually get bored. You want to make them visually entertained. So you're going to be cutting up these shots throughout your film. Maybe an extreme long shot to set your scene, then you jump to a long shot, maybe a medium shot, maybe a close-up. Or you could go from a close-up to a medium shot. You're just kind of bouncing around to keep your audience visually interested in your movie. So these are just a couple shots. There are a lot of shots out there. We'll cover some more in some future workshops. I hope you'll give them a try. If you're working on a movie and you want to share it with us, please do. You can hashtag us, hashtag Studio NPL, or you can also email it to me at studionplnashville@gmail.com.
Hey guys, it's your music mentor, Rhett. Right now we're going to talk about song structure because there's so many options that you can follow when you're making up a song. You can stay on one chord the whole time, maybe slide up to another chord, but really stay on that one. You can do that. A lot of times, especially in Nashville, what you're going to find is the 1-4-5 progression, and by that I mean the G, C, D. See, a long time ago, studio musicians developed this system to where when artists came in to record their songs, they could do it as quickly as possible and get more money off of more songs recording. And that number system just assigns every chord in a key the same number. It's much like the capo does to the guitar. When I move the capo here, this becomes the 1 automatically. For what we're talking about, for all intents and purposes. So, in the key of G, the 1 is the G, the 2 is the A. I'm playing A minor, that's A major. The 3 is the B, that's B minor, B major. The 4 is the C, 5 is the D, the 6 is the E, there's E major, just so you know what it sounds like, and the 7 is the F. And the ones that I play minor, that's because in a normal major scale, that would be the chord that you would probably use. It's the most useful to go somewhere else, like for instance. Now that could sound like a verse, but in the interest of song structure, that could be a verse. It is many verses. Well, from there you could go down to the 6th chord, and that could be your pre-chorus or even a bridge or a chorus. So if we were doing something like, you can go. So say that was a pre-chorus. The chorus could sound something like, really what I did for this chorus was use the verse and the pre-chorus mixed together. It wasn't anything really different. I was just taking elements of what I've already played in the song and trying to mix it up a little bit, but I didn't even really mix. I just combined 2 different things I'd already done. But remember, you have all those chords and many more to work with, but those are your main chords, the Cowboy chords. And don't forget, if you grow tired of playing in that key of G, just put it anywhere, go 1, 2, 3. I know you can argue that it just sounds the same in a different key because you're doing the same exact things. This is very true, but they are different frequencies, so that can be inspiring and lead to you playing differently. So work with that, enjoy it. It's just something to be had fun with. And song structure, like I said, your song structure can be 1 chord, or it can be all 7, or it can be 3. And I'll do more examples of that in a video. So enjoy the song structure and make your own.
Today, we're using After Effects to create motion graphics templates. Motion graphics means pretty animated text, and a template means that you can make one thing and then add new text into it for whenever you need it. So I'll be making a motion graphics template for a title sequence. You know, all of those introductions of your favorite characters before a TV show? And my motion graphics will look something like this. We'll then take our motion graphics templates into Premiere to create an actual title sequence. The first step when you open After Effects is to create a new composition. I'm going to name mine Graphics Template. The next step is to create a new layer, a text layer, using Layer New Text. Then start typing. I'm going to say starring actor name because we're creating a title sequence. Now you can duplicate that layer by hitting Command D. Now you have a second starring layer, and let's change that word to actor name. There you go. You have two text layers. Now 20 seconds seemed a little long, so let's shorten those layers to, say, 6 seconds. And let's make actor name come in a little bit later. The next thing we want to do is animate our layers to make them appear to move on screen. We do that by finding the transform effect, the position effect, and turning on keyframes by clicking the little stopwatch next to it. And then you can add a keyframe by clicking the blue dot. A keyframe just says exactly where a given object will be at a certain point in time, or exactly how an effect is described. So our first keyframe, let's start it with a position off screen. And our second keyframe will be back where we started. So now it looks like it gets animated and starts sliding on screen. Yay, animation! Let's do the same thing for actor name, using the stopwatch and creating new position keyframes. And now let's see how it looks. There you go, perfect. Now, let's add a layer behind it by using Layer, New, Shape Layer. And I want a rounded rectangle behind mine so that you can actually read the words starring even when it's against, say, a lighter background. Let's Command D and create a second shape layer, and let's make this rounded rectangle pink instead. But our rounded rectangles aren't moving, so it might look kind of weird because our text is animated, but the rectangle isn't. Okay, I mean, actually that's kind of cool, but let's use parent and child layers to make our pink rectangle and our blue rectangle follow the starring and actor name text. So you see this parent link next to pink rectangle? Let's link it to actor name. And then same thing, parent link for blue rectangle, let's link it to starring. And prepare to be amazed. Now let's add effects using the Effects panel. You can find it by going to Window, Effects. I want to go under the Transition menu and apply CC Twister to the pink rectangle. Now we can keyframe CC Twister just like we keyframed Position. I like to start it at 0 completion and then end it at 100% completion because it makes the rectangle look like it's made a full flip. Now let's add a Venetian blinds transition to the blue rectangle. I like to start it at 0, go to 100, and go back to 0, so that requires 3 keyframes. But you can do your effects however you want. Now, let's see how it looks. Okay, I think that's pretty perfect, so now what we'll want to do is save this as a template using the Essential Graphics window. So in Essential Graphics, you're able to select a composition, we named ours Graphic Template, and then you can drag and drop different controls from your After Effects composition into the Essential Graphics panel. So each effect that you drag and drop will be fully editable in Premiere. I definitely want to be able to edit the text in actor name to say whatever the name of the actor is. So I'll drag and drop source text up to the Essential Graphics panel. Also, I would like to be able to change the scale of my text, so I'll drag and drop scale into Essential Graphics so it will be fully editable in Premiere. Let's do the same thing for starring. We'll want to drag and drop the text here, source text, also the scale of the text. And then for our rectangles, we might want to consider allowing the size of the rectangle to change. So you could make it bigger and smaller. You could also change the position in Premiere. That way, if you had longer text, you could move it accordingly. Now, the main thing to remember here is that only the things that you're dragging and dropping from your composition into the Essential Graphics panel will actually be editable in Premiere. So let's look through one more time and make sure everything like source, text, and scale that we might want to change is on this list. Let's rename it. I'll name it Super Cool Title Sequence. And now let's export it. And yes, I want to save. So I like to save mine to the local templates folder and hit OK. Now let's see what it looks like inside Premiere. So I've already brought in a little bit of actor footage, and all that I need to do is add the template on top of it. So just go to Essential Graphics in Premiere and drag and drop your super cool title sequence, which automatically loads into the graphics. So now I can see starring actor name inside my Premiere project. Let's edit that using the Essential Graphics panel and change actor name and starring text. Notice how everything we dragged and dropped into the Essential Graphics panel in After Effects is editable here. So I can change actor name to Carly, or I could change starring to co-starring. I also can change the position and the sizes of the rectangles. To create a full title sequence, you just need footage of every actor, and then you could copy and paste your motion graphics template, and then just write a new name for each actor, and voila, you have a title sequence. Now, this is the title sequence that I made using the templates we created in After Effects. And congratulations! We made a title sequence!